This documentary isn't really about tax. It's about a feeling you probably recognize instantly, even if you've never put words to it. That moment when you look at your payslip, or your bank balance, or your business account, and you think, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, so why does this still feel wrong? If you've ever had that thought, this video is for you. Because that feeling isn't laziness, it isn't entitlement, and it isn't failure. It's your brain reacting exactly as it was designed to react when effort and reward stop lining up. Effort without reward doesn't create motivation, it creates stress. And here is the first uncomfortable truth. Most tax systems fail when people understand them. The UK system survives because most people don't. For most of human history, work followed a simple loop. You did something useful. You received something tangible. You adjusted your behavior based on the result. That loop created meaning. Modern tax systems quietly break it. Money leaves your life without a clear return signal. You don't feel what it paid for, you don't see what it fixed. You don't experience closure. So instead of satisfaction, the brain experiences loss. And loss doesn't motivate people. It puts them on edge. This is why tax never feels fair even when people insist the maths is correct. Because fairness isn't calculated emotionally, it's experienced. Your brain doesn't understand public spending as a percentage of GDP. It understands rent, food, heat, transport, exhaustion. So when politicians say, tax is the price we pay for a civilized society, they're speaking in abstractions. Your nervous system isn't. Nowhere is this more obvious than on a payslip. Pay as you earn is often described as efficiency, but psychologically, it's containment. It removes tax before money ever feels like yours. That matters because the brain hates loss more than it enjoys gain. This is called loss aversion. A 100-pound loss hurts more than a 100-pound gain feels good. Pay bypasses that pain by making the loss invisible. So resentment doesn't explode. It turns inward. People don't ask why the system feels punishing. They ask why they aren't coping better. This is why pay workers rarely revolt. Their anger has no clear target. National insurance deepens this effect, not by changing what's taken, but by changing what it's called. Calling something insurance feels safe, earned, protective, reciprocal. But national insurance is not a personal pot. It isn't saved for you. It isn't waiting for you. It's another tax on labor. And here's where fairness begins to fracture. If you earn a high income, deductions hit surplus. If you earn minimum wage, deductions hit survival. Same system. Completely different lived experience. This contradiction becomes impossible to ignore when governments raise minimum wage. These announcements are framed as moral progress, justice, compassion, decency. And on paper, they are. But the human brain doesn't live on paper. When wages rise at the bottom, deductions rise immediately. Income tax, national insurance, student loan repayments, council tax pressure. So the headline number goes up, but the lived improvement barely moves. People feel busier, not richer. More hours, more effort, the same anxiety. And the brain doesn't read this as economics. It reads it as betrayal. Effort increased, reward didn't. This is why minimum wage work still feels punishing, even when wages rise. The system gives with one hand and takes with the other, quietly. Tax bands are described as progressive. And mathematically they are. Psychologically they are not. Because humans don't experience averages, they experience change. When your next pound earns less than the previous one, your brain registers punishment, even if your total income is higher. This is why people feel trapped at certain income levels. Not because they're irrational, not because they're ungrateful, but because the system taxes the moment of progress more aggressively than it explains emotionally. Now add digital tax to all of this. Making tax digital isn't just a technical update, it's a change in how often tax occupies your attention. Quarterly updates mean tax is no longer an annual event. It becomes ambient, always present, always waiting. This matters because attention is finite. When compliance occupies mental space, risk-taking drops. People become cautious, less experimental, less entrepreneurial. This isn't malicious, it's structural. Digital systems reward stability, stable income, stable routines, stable support. Those without stability experience pressure instead of clarity. At this point, an uncomfortable truth becomes unavoidable. The tax system is not designed to feel fair. It's designed to function under stress. Fairness is political language. Efficiency is operational reality. Once you see that distinction, the confusion lifts. You realize you weren't failing the system. The system was working. It just wasn't designed to care how it feels to live inside it. Modern systems don't require belief. They don't need you to think they're fair. They only need participation. So people comply without faith. They work without hope. They pay without clarity. This documentary doesn't offer solutions. Systems this large don't respond to understanding. They respond to disruption, and disruption is rare. What understanding does is quieter but still powerful. It moves confusion out of you and back into the structure that created it. And when confusion moves outward, shame loosens its grip. Because the problem was never your motivation. It was the shape of the system you were asked to live inside. The system is already inside your life. The only remaining question is whether it also controls how you think about your worth. The system is already inside your life. It shapes how you work, how you plan, how you judge yourself. And the most powerful thing it ever did wasn't taking money. It was convincing you that the pressure you feel is a personal failure. It isn't. It's structural. And once you can see the structure, you stop turning the blame inward. You stop asking, what's wrong with me? And you start asking better questions. If this video put words to something you've felt for a long time, you're not alone. That's where real clarity begins. If this resonated, leave a like. It helps this video reach people who need to hear it. And if you've ever had that feeling of doing everything right but still feeling behind, tell me in the comments. I felt this. This channel is called Cognory. We explore the systems that quietly shape how we think, how we work, and how we feel. Without shouting, without slogans, and without pretending it's simple. Subscribe if you want clarity instead of noise.
Take me.